It's been an historic week in Northern Ireland. As some of the best in the women's game have joined the European Tour's finest. Striding the same fairways at the same time. Sharing equally the prize fund of a combined $3 million. For the first time ever, a tri-sanction event between three of golf's major male and female tours. Galgon Castle in Ballymena, just outside of Belfast in Northern Ireland, the setting for the ISPS Handa World Invitational presented by Modest Golf Management. This, an event with a difference. 2 tournaments to be completed today, and with 2 trophies comes a first prize of over $250,000 for each champion. After starting the week with 288 players, we're down to 40 women and 41 men who made yesterday's cut in their respective events for today's final round.
Chella Choi with a very long putt on the 12th hole. Back up the tier and start breaking left to right on her around now.
Yeah, and that's a player trying to force things, isn't it? Nothing's dropping.
Well, Hillier from 235 yards. Strong boy, this young lad. He can send it. Looks like he's got the iron out as well. And it's all of this.
Yeah, he's got plenty of game, let me tell you. This is one for the future.
Well, he's another one who, like Gavins, is going to be spending the rest of the year on the Challenge Tour. And I know Santiago Tarrio probably has done enough already, and Marcel Siem as well in second, but some of the others better look out.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing him next year on the big show, I think.
Tarrio, by the way, made the cut here this week. He made the 3rd round cut as well. Currently at 8 under par. In fact, he's finished on that mark after a 67. He played in the Open a couple of weeks ago, did Hillier. And of course, currently 78th on the race to Dubai is Jordan Smith. The season-long race, event number 25 of the campaign here in Northern Ireland, trying to become Europe's #1 player. We've had all the majors, still not all the big events done and dusted. Rolex events, World Golf Championships, all trying to succeed Lee Westwood as the European Tour #1. And this is how it looks right now. Colin Morikawa ahead of John Rahm. Louis Oosthuizen, who's had amazing major year, hasn't he, without picking off a win. Paul Casey, who was involved this morning in the shootout for the bronze medal. We saw Guido Migliozzi there as part of Niall Horan's Modest team, and Justin Harding was among the contenders going into the final round today at 20th on that race to Dubai, but hasn't had the final round he wanted. He's stood still really at 10 under par. And I mentioned the Olympics there, didn't I? What a final day it proved to be as well. Xander Schauffele taking the gold, making a great par down the last. An American born to a German father and a Chinese Taipei mum who grew up in Japan. Doesn't get much more Olympics than that, does it? Rory Sabatini, who saw that coming with that 61, and C.T. Pan, both playing from 7 groups back of the leaders, finished with the silver and bronze medals. And coming through a 7-man playoff. That was good entertainment, wasn't it? We watched that this morning over breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an immaculate golf course. There was some amazing play being played down the last few holes. Now, how's the lie for Jordan Smith?
Well, he's going to have to dig on this one. He's opened the club face up, back of the stance, chop this one down. It will release forward. Lots of right to left break on this.
Yeah, I think that's pretty acceptable. He's just trying to give himself a 10-footer in really from there. A lot of green to play with. You never quite know how that first and second bounce is going to perform.
So the one back here for Chelatroy. She can't. I mean, I know we say this so many times, but holes are running out. Has to hold this. Does. Look at her. She can't hold any for birdie, but you get one like that for par and it goes.
Always the case. The mentality changes, doesn't it? It's maybe what she needs to work on. Just being more positive over those birdie putts.
Can't see the ball for David Horsey. Normally very good around the greens. That's excellent. It's a real stress reliever, isn't it? That just takes away all the panic inside 3 feet.
Catlin then to try and move alongside Smith at 14 under.
Oh, it's a great view, isn't it? Oh, my word. Great try, great try. It's about as upset as he gets, Richard, isn't it?
Very little emotion. Eagle putt for Hillier.
Yeah, it's a lengthy one down over the hill, breaking off the right here, Richard.
Oh my goodness, that was a whisker away of a big move from Daniel Hillier. Will be good enough to take him to 13 under. Lovely to see the sunshine out.
Yeah, all the colour coming to fruition here, just to the right of this green, just behind where Jordan Smith has got his putt from. All the purples and the greens, absolutely beautiful. And putting in the shadows here, Jordan Smith. And a good chance for a birdie. Horsey made a bit of a hash of his third shot, came up short, got it down. You can probably just see his marker by the hole. He should be tapping that one in for par, but this one just a little bit of movement off the left, I feel.
This is an interesting one. 152 yards out, and the ball's nestled in a divot. No problem for Cultro there. Just hit down on the ball, make sure she got ball then turf. That's why we saw that huge divot coming out. Great approach. See Horsey tapping in for his par 5. Remain 2 ahead, walking to the 11th tee.
Yeah, no birdie for him or Jordan Smith there, so Hillier just moves a little more into the picture.
Pins 12 on 4 from the left-hand side. Talley just coming out of that one a touch. Yeah, another one, another ball just run out on this dog leg. Ball's nestled down in the rough as well. From 140 yards, it's going to be very difficult to go straight at the flag. The wind is down, so you want to play a little bit more conservatively and just play right at the flag here. Can't really afford to take it on directly.
She pitched that in the absolute perfect spot.
So we're saying women just have to play it differently, Anthony. You see the guys will be looking up there, like a John Catlin would fly that really high and be able to stop it, but just playing it slightly to the right. Got the landing spot to perfection there.
Last Sunday she was playing with Minji Lee. Lee winning her first major championship in Evian. This week she's playing with a couple of Americans in Emma Talley and Jennifer Kupcho, who, like her, trying their best to find this breakthrough LPGA Tour victory.
Par 3 today, 1,479. Now can John Catlin get one close? No, he can't. Spectators on the right there, I think, enjoying the golf.
Hillier launching this one.
That's it.
Another dog leg par 4.
Well.
Okay, we can see some of the ball there, so not too bad for Hillier. The rough's certainly not as long as it was when they played the Dubai Duty Free Irish Open here back in September. Of course, was playing very soft then as well, and you can see a lot of bounce in the fairway here this week, even with the rain we had on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, it's got firmer as the week's gone on as well now, Richard. So it's back to the way it was in the practice rounds. Horsey now out with driver at this 483-yard par 4. This one leaking right, gotta go.
We haven't seen that, John. Are you able to tell us where it went?
Well, I didn't see a bounce. If it didn't bounce, I got a feeling that's in the water. In the penalty area down the right.
Okay.
I'll let you know in due course.
Okay, we'll come to you for confirmation for that in a moment. So maybe
Happy with that, yeah?
some trouble for our leader.
Just a little bit right in that right tree, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. What's that wind? What's that wind, mate?
Wind is literally like there. Okay. Just commit to it.
Well, Jordan Smith here, it's just seen that. He's got to be playing out down the left-hand side. This is heading in the same direction. Oh my goodness. Now that one is in the water.
Well, extraordinary. Extraordinary. We'll find out whether that is the same fate for Horsey. We'll go up on the green where there's been less stress for the final ladies group.
Very little stress in that lag putt there from the front edge. That's our leader, Emma Talley.
Yeah, she struggled last couple of years, Emma Talley. Tried to find some more distance in her game, Sophie, and it didn't work for her.
Yeah, so she came onto the tour, started looking around, thinking, what do I need to do? How do I need to improve to get better? And lost her game. It's gone back to her old coaches, her old way of playing, and it's working.
Looks to be lying quite cleanly. A couple of feet under the level of the putting surface. He played an amazing bunker shot over in Austria to take that title, and there's another one. Just really holds that face through the shot, and extraordinary good technique in that, let me tell you.
Yeah, he'd love to get in another playoff, wouldn't he, like he did in Austria.
Bit of right to left in this one.
Oh, goodness. There's no doubt she has been looking the most likely to hold those kind of putts on these greens this week.
Interesting, the women, as the pressure has built, they've almost got better when the men are starting to just struggle just slightly. It's quite interesting to watch the two forms of the game. They seem to be more comfortable running the ball, where the men are just starting to struggle a fraction.
Well, this is for 3 in a row. And Emma Talley has company at the top of the leaderboard again. She's joined by her fellow American Jennifer Kupcho, and what an amazing dynamic this is when you consider that Jennifer Kupcho's caddy, Patrick Smith, is also the boyfriend of Emma Talley. sure there'll be too much conversation going on between boyfriend and girlfriend right now. There's some business to be done at this ISPS Handa World Invitational presented by Modest Golf Management. Over on the men's side, problems maybe for the front two. We know for sure that Jordan Smith is in the penalty area, and it may be the same issue as well for David Horsey. Catlin and Hillier amongst those who are ready to pounce here in Northern Ireland. Worth picking out that 65 bogey-free round from the Chilean, Hugo Leon.
Been a relatively quiet day for Justin Harding, only 1 under for it. Hard though, you can't keep performing at the highest level on a Sunday. It is quite tiring mentally. Such a good player.
Been a long few weeks for Harding, having 3 weeks off after this as we watch Charlie Hull, second shot into the 15th.
Yeah, 1 over yesterday. She's 1 over for her round today, Charlie Hull.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that. This is an event that she would have eagle-eyed. Oh, there is an eagle.
She's not 1 over for the round anymore.
Oh, I love that swing. She just swishes through it. There's no holding back. 100% back right flag. Draws one in there. Never anywhere else.
A lovely eagle from Charlie Hull. Started nicely, couple of birdies in the first 5 holes, but threw in a double at 7, as you can see there. She's playing really well without getting back in the winner's circle. 3 wins for Charlie Hull, 2 on the LET, 1 on the LPGA Tour. Oh my God.
I was just about to say the simplest of par putts. Is that just concentration?
Well, that's a complete momentum stopper.
And with issues, the leaders, that could be humongous in a couple of hours' time. It really could cost him.
That has to be concentration only. Lost his focus there. So Smith is taking a job, and it looks like it's ditto David Horsey as well, John.
Yeah, I mean, massive surprise for me for Jordan Smith following in David Horsey after. I mean, it looked like he went for the safety play with an iron in his hand and got right ahead of it, come straight out of the shot and rode the wind that was pushing it towards the water and just bent like you wouldn't believe. And yeah, this is the point of entry where it crossed. And they're a long way from home. The saving grace that you can still get there in 2, no doubt, in 3 I should say now, straight down the breeze. It's a little raised green at this 11th though. And the happy days is it's nice and flat where they're dropping it.
So the top 2 are both about to play 3. This par 4.
A small green on the angle though, this for a wood. This is quite a brave play, John. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is, but what other option has he got? I wouldn't put it past him. He should probably hit the iron like he did off the tee. You know, he could pitch this short and it could bead up onto the green. It's quite a narrow entrance though, Wally. But that's the kind of play I would do. If you go for wood, it comes off a bit hot. My goodness, you could be over the green and it's not easy from over there. Well, this is looking nice.
Well, it's scampering straight through the back of that green. It was right on line, but no control. Downwind, out of the rough. This green is not meant for a 3-wood.
Now to 3 birdies in a row. Really making a charge for the line, Kupcho. Same yardage for the men and the women, 175. So this is a tough par 3. Fine shot. She's looking strong.
Choi just through the back of the 13th. You can see she fancied hole in that one. Needs it really. Minus 13. On 7-5, pins back left, winds off the left. Try and hit a high draw in there. A couple of those in the last few holes, just getting it underneath, opening the club face a touch, but it's not a bad place to miss it. Tricky flag there.
Carries a couple of driving irons as Catlin. And that was a real shot on the previous hole.
Swing us one there,
No
big
more
boy.
than a foot and a half.
Yeah? Swing us one, please.
Count that on one hand, how many times he's done that.
Bang.
Back to 12 under, so he's going to need a couple of birdies and a bit of help from our leaders, I think.
Hillier went on ahead and played. He's just shy of the green, so he's there in 2, just shy. Now, when Horsey dropped this ball, he was looking at the lie. I don't think he was happy with it. He's done his yardages. He went up about 50 yards to a certain marking so he could have a clear point of view of where that green is and that pin on the green, which is over on the left-hand side, by the way. Some distance still to go, and this is his 3rd shot now. Really gathering himself. A few deep breaths. Here we go.
Bounce. Go.
Did well there. The way David Horsey chip and putts, probably not a bad spot.
Yeah, but they're going to have to be hard-working bogeys for the top 2, aren't they?
Yeah, I much prefer coming short of the green than over it, though.
Anana Rukan, last to play on this 12th hole. 30 feet right of it's great. 5 iron. She just knows her landing spot so well. Controls the ball on the ground as well.
Well, it's if you're just joining us, there's been a lot, and I mean a lot going on today. Let's start with Jordan Smith, who of course started the day with a 1-shot lead. He birdied the 2nd.
Yeah, he got off to quite a good start. Over at the 4th, quite a short par 4. Found the fairway with an iron. It's a pretty simple pitch over the water. That's a whole good putt there for a birdie. So a good start.
Yeah, and he hadn't dropped a shot at Galgorm Castle all week and made a bogey at 5, and then his tee shot finished here at 6.
And look where that finished, came back to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you said it. Tough break there for Smith.
Led to a triple bogey 7. He missed this. Although he responded well, didn't he, with a birdie at the next par 5.
3 pars to start for David Horsey. Very similar sort of pitch to his playing partner. Great from inside 100 yards. There you see it again. That was led to a birdie.
189-yard par 3. Good leave up the hill for Horsey. And this is his bread and butter, birdie 2.
Yeah, and then he dropped a shot at the 6th hole, but found himself in a 2-shot lead.
Yeah, all of a sudden, quite an amazing turn of events. And what a time to make another birdie. Just to make Jordan Smith's day a little harder.
So everyone's struggling a little bit at the 11th. Hillier less than, of course, his playing partners.
He's got the long game. Daniel Hillier. I was interested to see what he had, but that was beautifully played.
And now he is right bang thick in the mix here is Daniel Hillier.
Really long birdie attempt for Talley on the par 3. Greens are rolling fantastically well. Look at the pace on that as it moves past the hole.
I mentioned the boyfriend situation with Emma Talley. I'll come back to that in a moment because obviously we're on Jordan Smith here, so let's go back to here.
Ball position quite far up, actually, unusual. So trying to get some height on this, even though it's back into the breeze. Yeah, that's not his best, is it? Expecting maybe a little bit more run if the lie was sitting down. Probably struck it too well almost and it popped up.
This would be a very good birdie. 30 feet went across the green. Quite slick at the back of this 12th.
If they're not going in, they're having a good look. Very similar shot to the one that Hillier faced. This is 4th, of course, Horsey.
Got great calmness, hasn't he, there? He's made an error off the tee, but he doesn't compound it.
Which is what Jordan Smith may have done.
Yeah, they both made mistakes and there's every chance that Horsey will pick up a shot. To hole one of these long par putts that we saw, bogey putts, excuse me, that we saw yesterday from sort of 20 feet or so. Of course, he took a drop from the penalty area.
Yeah, they're not dropping now. So he's had a triple on the card, and now he's got a double bogey. And you feel you're going to win on the European Tour. Those numbers you cannot afford. Fall back of Horsey, who's going to drop one, obviously, here. So the gap will be 3. Now Cupcho here.
Chance to take the lead, to go 4 in a row. Saw her set alight the back 9 at Augusta National. Can she do the same here at Galgorm Castle?
So bogey for Horsey. Back he goes to 15 under, and suddenly it's Daniel Hillier who is the closest pursuer. The 23-year-old from New Zealand, playing in just his 7th European Tour start, his 2nd of the season. The other one happened to be the Open Championship.
And 2 behind with 7 to play. Who would have thought that on the front 9 yesterday?
No. He looked like a man who was clinging on.
A similar sort of putt to what Jenna Choi had a few moments ago. It's pretty straight. She managed to hold it. Can Talley repeat that feat? Not much in it, just a little slicey.
Well, it's all changed again on the ladies' side of things. It was a 2-shot lead for Emma Talley a short while ago, and now she's 1 behind Jennifer Cupcho. And that miss from Catlin again, I mean, it's an extraordinary lapse of concentration.
But I wonder whether he feels like he's in it still. Possibly not. There might not be a scoreboard around the 15th. That's quite well. That's Sophie's favourite shot on the bunker's the same level as the green. They're the hard ones to judge.
Yeah, I can just never visualise it. I like a high bunker so I can see the high flight.
David Horsey, 2-shot lead over Daniel Hillier now. Jordan Smith, 1-shot lead overnight, 3 back. Alejandro Cañizares still ticking along, but holes obviously running out. 65 from Chile's Hugo Leon. Nothing really happening today for Justin Harding, and a great story on the women's side. Look at the name there of Sydney Michaels. It's her fourth event back, I should say, after 4 years out. She's been semi-retired because of a back injury. She's decided to try and make a comeback. It's the first time she's made a cut. She shot a final round 67, which is 6 under here, and she finds herself in a tie for 5th. Fantastic. Well done to the 33-year-old American. I'm sure she's feeling absolutely brilliant after that. But the main event is, of course, the chase to win this ISPS Handa World Invitational. And there is a long way to go, you feel, on both leaderboards.
Well, oh my goodness, my head is right off my... Well, all the cheese has fallen off my cracker right now, I've got to say, because... My goodness, what's going on, boys and girls? Hillier here at 12, back left pin. What a nasty pin position this is. All tucked over on that left hand side. 175 with a little cross breeze.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, John, we'll come back to that in a moment. I was going to say, in a way, he's playing the best of anyone in that final 3 ball now.
409-yard par 4, wind straight down. Water on the right-hand side. Won't be going anywhere near that. Just come out of that second cut of rough. Should be absolutely fine there.
She has been smiling her way around, even when the bogeys have come in, Talley.
Well, great shot in there by Hillier. He's just past pin eye on the right hand side. That's a brave one, that is. You've got to try and fight this breeze. A little bit of right to left. You can't dare ride the breeze from left to right. It falls away from left to right. This green bunker just shy and to the left. It can catch you. Short side yourself. By the way, that was a great birdie on the last from this man. And that is up and out.
Come on.
I think what we're seeing here as well, guys, we're looking at Jordan Smith, who hasn't won in 4 years, and David Horsey hasn't won in 6.
Yeah, it is, and your weaknesses come out when you're under a bit of stress, and we've probably seen that today a little bit with Dave, that right one, and Jordan's not been up there for a while either, a few poorer tee shots.
Yeah, I just think you got to really fiddle at 8, you know. Just got to make sure there is help there, that's the thing.
Well, the heat is on, the pressure is building, the people are all turning up. It just adds fuel to the fire.
And John, how tricky would you say conditions are? You can see them trying to work out the wind here.
Well, I think it's just switched. It switched on about the 6th or 7th hole. You know, I think they got, you know, undone on a few of the shots, and it's kind of stayed there now. I mean, this hole is a little bit down off the left, and it just seems like it's flipping and swirling. It's really catching the players out. This one looking good.
Well, that's more like it. Excellent shot from Jordan Smith. He responded brilliantly to the triple bogey at a par 3, and that's his response to a double bogey at another par 3.
Another big putt. Can he hold this one out of a bunker this time for Catlin?
I was going to say, when you say another big putt, another big small putt, isn't it, really?
Yeah. He's had 2 putts from a bunker and missed them both.
And that's, you feel him done. Well, we've seen Daniel Gavins hold one of these already today. He's obviously up there as well, 12 under.
Gonna fall right to left. He's not done it again, has he? Has he?
Yeah.
He has, you know.
Well, hello, Daniel Gavins. 2 holes left, 13 under par, share a second. Are you sure you want to go to the Challenge Tour for the rest of the season?
Very true, isn't it? What a story that might be.
You know, carrying on the form he showed in Italy last week, last couple of weeks on the Challenge Tour, and as you say, Sophie, a free hit this week.
And look at him taking full advantage of it, not made a bogey today and hold 2 huge 60-foot putts. Emma Talley missing the fairway in the right rough, but good job it's the right side because it opens up the green, no bunkers in array. 24 on, expect a little bit of release with this one.
Yeah, well played. That's the release she was looking for. That's beautifully judged. Anything up there, pin high on a back pin, that's no mean feat on a Sunday.
And Sophie, you were saying how she's worked on the mental side of the game, and I think we're seeing that again. The smiles off the tee after a drop shot at the last.
Yeah, I've been working with a psychologist, and he says, talking about like growing plants, if you keep feeding them water, eventually they will grow. So it's that patience of sticking to processes. It's hard to do in this type of situation. So that smile might be hiding a few things, but it seems to be the way forward for her. As we watch Kupcho out with the slightly thicker stuff, she gets a bit more height on her golf ball, so she'll be able to hold it enough.
I think whatever you do, as long as you repeat it, it's a good thing. It just keeps you in the present. And the best players under pressure have the best pre-shots, and they're almost nailed on to a second, and that's what you need to do to really keep those demons at bay. And everyone gets them. They're not just for one or two of us, they're for everyone.
123rd this season, but we've seen some great short game work, haven't we, from Horsey today?
Well, this is back at the stand to jab it onto the front edge. He's gone the long option, which is brave, taking all the slope out of play. Play the beauty.
Oh, it is another stunner.
He just doesn't put himself under any pressure, does he, with the putter when he misses a green? He's always knocking them to tap-in distance.
How is he 123rd for scrambling when he can do that?
He's obviously been in some terrible spots because he's always had a good short game.
Would have learnt plenty from Emma Talley. Similar sort of shot, 104 yards. You want to see a bit of release.
That was a good swing.
Just that one big error at 6. Otherwise, she's hardly put a foot wrong. And Anna can't. Now this could be a pivotal moment for Daniel Hillier.
Yeah, this could put the cat amongst the pigeons now. Uphill putt. Would have had a nice little read there from David Horsey. Pretty straight putt up the hill.
Horsey's ball marker there I think that was actually going to help him, guide him towards the hole. Good effort. Good to see getting it past the hole still, so he's still pushing in his mind. Being a couple behind, not going to do him any harm whatsoever.
Well, he's the one not putting himself under stress out on the course. Obviously, there will be the stress of trying to win on the European Tour if he's in contention the last few holes.
And he's probably the one that got the least amount to lose. The other ones have a tour card, they are proven winners, they want to win again. He's trying to make his way up in the game. Completely different mindset.
It's all those Odyssey putting stats, putts per round. I don't think Jordan Smith necessarily wants to see them.
I don't see a lot of movement in it. I got a feeling it wants to break from right to left, but I got behind the ball. And it looked left to right. He's going straight.
Well, that was a real opportunity to get things moving back the right way.
Well, this is interesting. Got the putter out.
Yeah, could chip it, but obviously deciding to putt it, you've got to nudge it through this first bit of rough before approaching the fringe and then onto the green. So 3 different textures to putt through. I mean, if anything, it is breaking left to right, but it's really all about the strike and pacing.
Very much a up in the air strike. There was never really going to be a flush, was it? Not the right decision.
Oh, penultimate hole for Daniel Gavins, 30-year-old from Leeds.
Pin tucked on the right hand side, very accessible. Unlucky there, could have got a forward bounce. He's lifted himself a good 15-footer uphill though. Probably a bit too close for him.
Well, if he can pop that in, par 5 to come, he might set a pretty mean target.
I must say, I'm feeling quite good with this one for Anarukan. I don't know why, but something's telling me that this is going in for birdie. It's pretty much dead straight, if anything, coming off the left.
I need Incy to tell me this week's lottery numbers as well. Fabulous birdie from Anana Rukan, and she's within one, although Kupcho's still got work to do here, obviously, for her part.
Yeah, she's just one of these girls that when she stands over a putt, you just think it's going in. If we all think it, I'm sure she is. It's a great roll, great strike on her putts. They go in at a wonderful pace.
Yeah, her 10th place finish at Evian last week matched her best LPGA Tour finish. She looks dead on certain to beat that, but of course, winner's circle is where she wants to be.
I must admit, this was a brilliant approach shot from the right rough. Really judged that landing spot brilliantly. Now pin high, just trying to roll this one in also for birdie. Coming in off the right. Let's make this 2 out of 2.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not standing still for long, is it? Things on this leaderboard.
Straight.
All of a sudden the pressure's on Kupcho slightly.
Well, driver he hit yesterday. He's out with 3-wood today here at 13. Water down the right. This one left, going left.
That was the anti-water shot, wasn't it?
That it was, Richard. Got a good eye on it.
I saw this just on the 3rd tee. He starts to look left quite early and the shoulders really move quite quick left. And I just wonder whether the face just continues to go the way he's looking. Super golf swing. Such a snappy downswing. Occasionally it can go left, I think.
Well, David Horsey, brave move this. Out with driver straight down the breeze. The last time the water was on the right. You know what he did. Can he blank it out this time?
No, no.
Again. That looked in
That is swimming
again.
again.
As long as you're happy. Step up. Don't know where. Yeah.
I mean, in the hazard at 11, in the hazard at 13, and still leading at the moment.
Well, the mind is playing tricks on his swing now. That's for sure. I mean, right off the tee on 11.
Well, Smith
right off the tee on 12. And right here at 13. Jordan Smith.
Well, suddenly he must be thinking, I've got to focus here. I'm still right in this.
Well, something's breaking down with the swing there. I mean, confidence is low with the swing all of a sudden for David Horsey. Don't know how. He's playing some stellar golf now. Jordan Smith out with 3-wood. He followed him on 11 into the water. Doesn't need to be doing it. You can aim at the left edge of the fairway. The wind will push it back into the middle.
I wonder how aware Daniel Gavins is of what situation he's in right now.
Well, hopefully he's not looking at a leaderboard and he just finishes off like a train for him, because it's one of those moments.
Well, he won't obviously know what's going on right now with the leader at 13. But this to get to 14 under, within one as it stands.
And he's in a position where he's trying to push, so there's no pressure on him, so expect some great things. Oh man.
It's a terrific final round, isn't it, from Daniel Gavins? Could have been even better there. Shot a 66 yesterday, and he's 5 under for the round today. Remember, it's a par 70. Hillier's in trouble, Horsey's in trouble, Catlin's making mistakes, whereas amongst the ladies there's been a fair few more birdies, those from Anna Narukan and Talley at 13. You feel like it's between those three now, for sure.
Two great trophies to be had on a Sunday. Narukan. It's a short par 3, the 14th, 144 yards for the women. Such a consistent ball striker, but that sounded heavy. But what a golf shot, and another chance for the ever impressive tie.
Well, John Catlin with those back-to-back bogeys at 14 and 15. And it's just sucked the air out of his challenge.
It's 145 yards to the flag and the wind's down off your left shoulder, but you've got that bunker directly just shy of the green, and if you go for it, it could come into play. And the smart play here is to go slightly left and the wind might drift it, but at this stage, are you going to go for it, Talley?
Yeah, it's certainly a pin that asks the question. But long and left, there's no future. That was something that stood out to me when I had a wander around on Tuesday and Wednesday. It almost forces you to have a go, I think.
Still smiling though.
I think at this stage for Kupcho, it's definitely going to be tempting. Like I said, 145 to the flag, and it's 138 yards to make the carry of the bunker. So, I mean, Kupcho and I hit pretty much a similar distance. So I'll be trying to get a 9-iron on this. Try and get it up in the air a little bit, get it landing softly.
What a shot.
Oh.
Right at it from Jennifer Kupcho. That's two superb tee shots we've seen there in the final group.
Just caught the downslope, didn't it? Took away all the spin. Fine shot.
To avoid a third successive bogey. It won't be a Galgum Castle double for John Catlin. He'd given himself the platform, hadn't he? It was there for the taking. Horsey's taking his drop.
Well, it was a very sharp cut from David Horsey, so he's been able to come quite a long way up from where it crossed over the red line. So kind of a nice little kind of flat plateau that goes up the right hand side of this hole, and he's been able to drop it quite nicely, and half a decent lie as well to boot. Straight down breeze this, well, now is his third shot, pins right at the back, 25 on.
Go.
It's clearly going through a few bad moments, David Horsey, at the moment. Does have an awful lot of good golf over his career to fall back on, but there's nothing like a Sunday afternoon when it just starts to feel a bit awkward out there. What do we got here, John?
147. Needs a good break here. Up and over the trees. Got to give this some serious welly. Not a great line.
Oh, well, he got it up and over that really tall tree there. He won't be able to see it finish, but when he walks up there, he will be delighted.
You got, you don't actually want to pick it back in.
After a monster 3, we're catching the downslope of that tier that looks in the fairway. He's only got 108 yards left in. Monstrous tee shot, over 330 yards. Just in the first cut, it's not a bad lie. He can get some groove on this, but the pin's at the back. He's got to send it all the way.
Point of the day where a good caddy just needs to just alert his player that you're well in this regardless of what's been going on.
So 2 good looks at birdie coming up here. This is Talley though with the outside chance.
Seem to get through the fringe, not too bad, but it's always hard to judge the pace coming through 3 levels of grass.
Well, it's tense, isn't it? With 2 trophies on the line. So, some significant money as well, almost a $250,000 for each winner. Now, we haven't seen too much of Mina Haragai today, have we? But she's played nicely. She just birdied 16 and 17.
Look at this flag on 18. We all knew it was going to be there. It's nearly in the water, isn't it? That's the safe play that you want. 10 feet right of it. The water snakes down that left-hand side. I'm just stood on the back of the green here on 14 with a 5-year-old called Lacey, and we reckon this is moving right to left.
Well, I think Cupcho agreed, but she forgot to hit it.
Well, more pressure for Horsey from the front of the green. Now this is 4th straight up there, uphill. Going for the bump and runner. Sit down, ball.
Remember, he's been in the water, David Horsey, so compounding the error. Well, Cupcho wasn't too convincing, but Incy and Narukan has shown herself to be pretty lethal with this club in her hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Lacey and I, we reckon this has got a great chance of going in. A little bit right to left, isn't it? Yeah. Lacey absolutely loves the golf and has come here to watch all the ladies play.
So no birdies in that final group at the par 3.
This is an outside chance of a birdie. Right across the back of this green for Jordan Smith. He's still in this.
Yeah, a couple of putts. I think he might be tied for the lead in a minute with 2 others. If he'd have held that anyway, so 1 behind, possibly.
There's barely anything in this one. Pretty much dead straight. A solid 4-footer. Just want to bruise the centre of the back of the cup on this one.
knew it straight away.
I've just seen that a couple of times where that face just comes across the ball and opens up and slices left to right. Poor 3-putt.
After a really good recovery from the left hand. Thick grass and amongst the trees. Doesn't feel a great par, but it will be in a minute.
It's making plenty of ground a par here. Just birdied 14 has Masahiro Kawamura, 27-year-old Japanese. And he's gone and got himself another one as a teenager on the Japanese tour. They believed he was a superstar in the making, Kawamura. Winning in his homeland back then. It hasn't quite happened for him. He's had a couple of runner-up finishes on the European Tour. He's in the picture now at 12 under. This for damage limitation for Horsey. And it's a double bogey. 3 shots go in 3 holes after going into hazards, and a 2-shot lead has disappeared.
And who would have thought it with the golf they were playing the front 9?
Well, we were talking, Anthony, about it being a possible duel, weren't we?
Well, that's right, and looking at 16, 17 under, and we needed the leaders to give anyone else a sniff, you know, and I didn't expect both to do it. It's going to be quite a finish.
Well, this is a big part as well for Mina Harrogate, because she's one on the fringes of Solheim Cup contention, the American. That gets her as co-leader in the clubhouse at 12 under par. She's 13th in the Solheim Cup standings in the American team. She was part of Pat Hurst's team bonding session they had a few weeks back before coming to Europe. She's been a very consistent player over the last year or so. That's another good round from Harrogate. A round of 69. 12 under, of course, won't be good enough to get the job done, but it'll be another good finish for Harrogate, as it was for Sydney Michaels. How about that after 4 years away? Jennifer Kupcho with a 1-shot lead after that drop shot at the par 3 from Emma Talley. And all change again on the men's side. A 3-way tie. Daniel Gavins coming down the last alongside Horsey and Hillier at the very top. Fourteenth tee then for the final 3-ball of the men.
The final par 3 of their round. Really tight pin, isn't it? Does really ask the question.
That's going to be a tricky putt as well. Ahead to 50.
Fairway wood in hand. There's a bunker at 250 on the left-hand side, so you don't want to mess with that. Just grab a piece of the fairway there.
Straight off left now. Control in now. Just take it off. Touch, not you don't have to take a lot off, just a touch. You're looking on that, you see the guy.
Well, he's one back again, John.
Your t-shirt. Yeah. Okay. Just commit to it, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, what a Sunday pin position. This is over on the right hand side, just a couple of paces over that right bunker. Down the breeze as well, not easy to get it close. You need height, you need spin, you need strike, you need it. 179 yards to the pin.
Quite a difficult pin for Jordan Smith to get near.
Yeah, it's hard to make yourself look at this pin, Wally.
Up to 15 again. Cupcho's turn.
That's 270 run out there.
Okay. So the good hits there.
Yeah, the bailout is left. 2 players already. Horsey trying to figure out the swing.
I have a feeling Horsey might have a go at this one. Yeah, well deserved. Got the bounce he deserved, taking it on. This is going to take someone to go for this, I think, the last 5 or 6 holes.
Talley going with driver. Doesn't think she can reach that bunker on the left-hand side. Gonna take advantage of her accuracy off the tee. Get a bit further down the 15th hole.
Well, what a fantastic final round this has been. The blue skies have arrived, the birdies have fallen, we've seen bogeys and doubles and penalty areas found, and now we have a co-leader coming down the last, who's only here this week as a bit of a bonus. Well, what a bonus it could be for Daniel Gavins.
Looks to be just looking just right at this. A bit of a anti-left block. So work to do. Difficult conditions. You can see the wind blowing in the back of the shirt. It's really just throwing out.
So much has been going on. Gavins, you have to say, with only an outside look at birdie, but a fantastic performance. 2 putts for a 65 and set the target at 13 under. Hillier, but again, what a remarkable story that would be if he could come through here this Sunday in Northern Ireland. Horsey with a birdie chance to come at 14. Karamura with those back-to-back birdies is right there. And over on the women's side, well, everything to play for, although it very much seems like it's between three players who haven't got an LPGA Tour title between them. One shot separates the trio at the top. Big move up the leaderboard today for Pernille Lindberg, wasn't it, with that 66? See the crowds building, of course, limited fans only allowed in to Galgum Castle.
Bit of a flick of the coin here between Smith and Hillier. Who's going to go first? Got Hillier going first, and now his putt should sling a little bit off the right hand side. It's coming off that right bunker that's on this par 3, 14th. It's going to have to get pretty close to the edge of the green here, and then we'll start moving up right to left, and it's a slow putt up the hill. Jordan Smith at the back of the green. He's going to be giving David Horsey a lovely little free read. The ball will just scoot past.
So, as you can see, the ones surrounding the flag, mainly greens, that's where the 1 putts have come from. Can't see a 3 putt amongst that.
Yes, a subtle slope of this one, Richard. You can see the cows, they're just wandering off into the far left-hand corner. I don't know where they're going, all the action's here.
They've seen you coming, John, that's why.
They did, come back,
They
come
know
back.
they know you've been researching.
Yeah, it must be time for milking.
What breed are they again, John?
They're the Swiss cow. They're the Swiss cow. Good dairy cow they are. Just behind the old Jersey ones. Old black and white ones.
That's Hillier's favourite colour, of course, the flag of New Zealand, black and white.
Green looks quite glazed. It's obviously quite a quick putt as well. So take a 2 putt and lag that and get out of there. Nicely done.
162 yards for Cupcho. The wind's really picking up into your face off the left. Really want to try and flight this one down. Try and cruise a 5-iron.
I think Cupcho will really come into her own now. She's 7th in greens and regulation on the LPGA Tour with a few long par 4s to come. Playing to her strengths.
Well, this to make it 4 at 13 under.
Yeah, down the hill, a little bit of break off the left. He's giving his man Horsey a free read here.
A very similar shot for Anand Rukhan compared to Cupcho's. Difficult to get to this back left pin when the wind's into your face.
Oh, she's managed it mighty finely there. Reaches it all the way back there and holds that very shiny back edge of the green.
David Horsey, he was the one that took this pin on. Can he be rewarded with a birdie too?
It was some shot, Wally. It really was. Well deserves a 2. He's got to put the stroke on it. The putter's not let him down. It's a swing. Just inside left, I feel, here for Horsey.
So 18th green with Daniel Gavins. Now, 13 under par would be a pretty good target, but what he'd give to hold another long one. He's had his share already today. Well, the putt at the last was tentative, and so was that.
It was online as well, wasn't it?
159 yards for Emma Talley. Easy to strike it out. Quite high in the club face out this first cut of rough. Make sure you keep it down.
Well, no bogeys so far today for Daniel Gavins. With the biggest 3-footer of his life. Just a fraction off the right and down the hill.
Well, there's the target. 13 under par. Daniel Gavins playing well on the Challenge Tour. Has he done enough to give himself a chance here on the European Tour? He'll have to wait. Nothing more that he can do as of now. But what a performance from the 30-year-old from Leeds. 66-65. Excellent weekend from the Englishman, and he's in that 3-way tie.
Yeah, just came off quite high in the club face, stalled up in the air, left it way short. A good 40-footer. Back into the wind, uphill, breaking off the left. Come on. Wow.
Come on, slow down. Goodness. Yeah, 2 bogeys in the last 3 holes. I don't know if it's just losing patience or it's just the moment, Sophie.
It's definitely the moment. You can come up a bit shy, can't you, when you're feeling the nerves, and she did that on her approach shot and compounded the mistake. As we watch Hillier on the 15th tee.
Just a layup really, Sophie. Quite a wide fairway. Shouldn't cause the players too much problem. Almost a free shot this time of the day. Give you a chance to just have a rest mentally.
No.
Cupcho. Not a big break on this one. I was just looking at the body language of Emma Talley and boyfriend Patrick Smith, which is Cupcho's caddy. This is definitely strictly business. Can't imagine how tough this must be today.
Yeah, it's interesting that Lindsay mentioned that. Yesterday she said after her round, Emma Talley, that she found it weird. Didn't like it.
Just looking to hit this sort of 240-ish.
Yeah.
Jordan Smith keeping it down a little bit. That was a nice swing, wasn't it? Good use of the body. Kept the face nice and square at impact.
So, just to remind you, you can see at the top left-hand corner of your screen, Cupcho leading at 17 under. So they've been swapping leads all day, haven't they? And then a Rukan, Talley, Cupcho.
Yeah, this was a brilliant shot in for Anana Rukan. Like I said earlier, very difficult to go at a back left pin when the wind's into your face. You know long is dead. Oh, trying to pop back for birdie. This is breaking in off the right.
It's another good try. Hand sits so quietly on that putter grip. Great action.
Back on the tee with David Horsey.
He prefers the hybrid to the long iron. Yeah, that'll do the job. That's absolutely fine.
Well, he's held a couple of goodies for birdie the last 2 holes. Oh, I thought it might not get there.
I bet you can't believe he's 2 under for the day and only 1 behind.
Yeah, not all the players are leaderboard watchers, are they? Not. They don't always know where they are.
I've never believed that.
Me neither. I try not to look, but I just can't help myself.
How's this for a testing par putt back? The pressure's on. Can't afford to miss this one. Back up the hill, off the right.
Three bogeys in the space of 4 holes have put a real dent into Emma Talley's title charge. Yeah, said she's tried to block out her boyfriend, basically trying to not see him, kind of putting her off yesterday. She said she managed to do that on the back 9 yesterday. It kind of unnerved her on the front.
Well, it's a situation that neither of them are used to being in, and must be hard emotionally trying to deal with that.
Especially when you're in the final group.
That's what I'm saying. Final group, different emotions anyway. Wanting to do really well and then looking over, and different if you're on the same team, but they're very much against each other today. As he's caddying for this lady here, Jennifer Cupcho.
As this to stay out in front by 1. She's 4 under for the day, Cupcho.
Titigan is 3 under for her round today, just going along nicely, looking to maybe post a score.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like she's finally holed a putt. Birdie on 17.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation for Titigan in terms of trying to get herself on the LPGA Tour now. One of the shots of the day today came from Charlie Hull when she eagled 15, followed it with a birdie at 16.
Might need a new pair of glasses after that shot. But that's the type of golf that Charlie Hall plays. She will love that. She can see the shape she needs to hit into that flag. Got great imagination and very brave.
Two shots down at 15, all in good shape.
159 here, Richard, and it's an interesting one. The flag's whipping from left to right, and you look back down the ferry to where they just come from. And 14, it's straight into the breeze. So a little bit of confusion here. Pin's right at the back of the green, 24 on. In between clubs here for Jordan Smith.
Well, we saw it come down. There's some really long grass. I'm not sure if it reached it, but look at what room, or what little room he has to work with coming back.
Well, 154 for Hillier. He's right in this. I'm sure he's feeling it now. Him and his good lady on the bag. Doing a good job. The sun's out to play. It's a glorious day at the office for the final day.
Continues to zip through them.
Yeah, whereas we're talking about Emma Talley having her boyfriend on somebody else's bag, at least Daniel's got his girlfriend caddying for him in the shape of Siobhan there.
I don't know if it's caddying. I think it might just be carrying the bag and cheering him on.
It's still caddying, Sophie, come on.
She'll still be wanting 10%, won't she?
Absolutely. 10% of nearly $250,000.
Can you blame her, Sophie? Can you blame her? 131 yards now for David Horsey. Really strong drive down the right. Very brave. Walter just looks to the right, and that's where he's been hitting it. He's been hitting right shots. He's coming in from the best angle possible from this right-hand side with the back left pin. It's gauging the breeze. Don't be fooled by that flag. It's not doing what it says. It's more into your face.
To say at this point, David Horsey seems to be the one trying to push to the finish line. He went for the pin at the par 3. Hit extra club off the tee here to make this a birdie chance. Not bad. Not quite what he was looking for, but the signs are good for him. He seems to be the one that's trying to take this by the scruff of its neck.
Driver for Kutcher off the 16th. Back into the wind. Looking left. Oh, there's a tree and heavy rough down there. The door is open once again.
The twists and the turns of this final round of the ISPS Handa World Invitational presented by Modest Golf Management, and we're seeing it in both events. Doubling up, aren't we? How much can you take? Jennifer Kupcho angry. Poor tee shot at 16. Her lead at the moment is 1. There's the men's leaderboard. Daniel Gavins, who's he's going to have a bit of a wait, Anthony, isn't he, really? I mean, if there is to be a playoff, it's probably a good hour or so before he'll head back out, if that was the case.
Yeah, it's very difficult to know what you do for an hour or so. You obviously go down to the range and hit some balls, but probably could do with getting some fluids and maybe picking up some food before he does that, rather than just running down the range and waiting, because it's a long time, an hour.
There's Vincent Norman, who's had a very good start to life on the European Tour. Santiago Tarrio, what a couple of months it's been for him. Jack Senior, another who has good memories of this venue. And top 25 for Nacho Avira, had some shoulder issues at the start of the week. There's Blake Windred, who we heard Niall Horan talking about, part of his team.
This can't be very pretty, I can't imagine, for Smith. God, that was close, I think. couple of wrong shots at the wrong time.
Yeah, I say not a bogey over the first 36 holes playing here at Galgum Castle, and he started well as well, Jordan Smith. And as we say, listen, it's the pressure, isn't it? Can do. Just errors creeping into his game.
Well, as a professional golfer, you're defined by how many wins you have, and you're seeing what it means to these players, John.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much grass behind the ball there, Wally. I mean, it's a little dinky one. This has to go. You've got to fill now to keep the pressure on. Not much movement when it gets on the green.
So he's had 2 bogeys and 2 double bogeys in this round, and he's still not completely out of it.
Charlie Hull just outside 20 feet for an eagle to finish. Not to be for the girl from Kettering.
But it's going to be a top 10 finish. Picked up 4 shots over those last 4 holes. It promised a little more heading into round 3. But she's off to Sotogrande in Spain next week for the Ladies European Tour, and then 2 big weeks in Scotland coming up.
Huge fan favourite. All the young girls yelling over, asking for her autograph and selfies. They all want to be Charlie Hull.
Well, second shot for Horsey there, a little bit leaky out to the right, but it's left him a lengthy one here. Good 25 feet. I don't see much movement in this groovy gang. I really don't. Got a good chance here.
So, ticked off. Getting down to the real heat of it now, aren't we? Last 3 holes. Well, he hit the front at the halfway stage, Daniel Hillier, and then he's been playing catch up. This to get out in front on his own for the first time since.
Karamura in the trees, we're hearing off the tee. So this for a par. He's only 1 behind. He rolls the egg pretty well. There you go, another one dead weighted in the left door.
Those par saves at 16 and 17.
Yeah. Bolted it past Hillier. In there quickly, looks confident. I think he's at that point of the day where he's actually just can't believe his luck and he's enjoying himself now. His body language to me looks very up.
Yeah, got to become a point where you go for it. It's Kupcho on the left-hand side of the 16th.
Yeah, had to hack it out of the rough. Went left off the tee yesterday and today. Now 126 yards, pins right at the back. Got a slope just behind it as well, which can act as a backstop. Ooh.
What up?
That third shot there by Kupcho, had to chip it out and just found the green. Trouble for our leader.
Well, she could tick so many boxes with a win here, Jennifer Kupcho. First LPGA Tour win, and a place in Pat Hurst's Solheim Cup team would be guaranteed as well, given the movement, she would hub up those world rankings. Looking at the leaderboard there, see Sydney Michaels was some story as well, I have to say, after 4 years out. 4th event back. Anyway, up to 16 with one of our co-leaders.
Oh, man.
It's another dog leg left to right, this 16th, and Hilliard's hit straight through it down the left-hand side.
And it's catching them out, Sophie. They think it's into breeze, but it's actually off the right, swirling around here. If the 14th anything to go by, it's massively off the right-hand side, and it's a strong breeze as well. Plays uphill, it's a little soft dog leg from left to right, 435 yards. You've got to be aiming this up the right half of the fairway. Don't mess with the left.
Yeah, very narrow, tree-lined dog leg. This does require all your attention. That's more like it. There's A1.
Jordan Smith really sussed it out, really. He's feeling nervous, and what he's doing is he's doing the old little shorn off follow through like you were talking about, Sophie, when it's windy conditions, getting that ball flight down. And it's really helping him control his shots. And he needs another one there. David Horsey sitting pretty in the middle of the fairway. Man Hiller down the left hand side. Driver in hand, needs to smoke it. This one's high, feels like it's going left.
In the long grass again, Jordan Smith. Just to update you on the ladies leaderboard, we thought that was a birdie finish for Charlie Hart. Unfortunately, she was in trouble off the tee. It was actually a double bogey 7, so she finished with a 73 to 16.
Looking to get up and down, Anna Rukan. And she might just do it. Fine shot.
Well, yeah, we could see a two-way swing here.
Well, 3 bogeys on the back 9 for John Catlin after a great run around the turn. He looks at that huge leaderboard at the back of the green, and he might just wonder what could have been.
A bit like that putt. Close, but no glory this time for John Catlin. There was an opportunity here. Played the last 8 holes in 3 over for a 68.
He looks tired. He's been on quite a run this year.
The par for Cupcho.
Thought fairways and greens would be enough for Cupcho these last 4 holes, but fortunately she missed this fairway and tapped that in for a bogey 5 to fall back into a tie for the lead at -16.
And of course, Anna Rukan has a fairly good look at birdie coming up. This could be a really crucial hole, this 16th.
Okay, so I'm like this much more left.
This is definitely moving left to right, and now Cupcho's finished with a bogey. That's the leaderboard behind me. I mean, 2 putt here, 1 back with 2 to play. Now this is for a birdie. Good swing of left to right on this one.
Oh, that was a really good effort. Got the pace back on these greens now.
Yeah.
Talley had a tough stretch there. Bogeys at 14 and 15, but will make a shot up because they're playing partners. One has definitely dropped a shot.
Yeah, of course, I should have said Anna Rukan has a par putt to come. So confirmation, Talley at 15. Cupcho slipping back to 16, and Anna Rukan with a par-saving putt here to stay. There's the clubhouse. liquid refreshment for Daniel Gavins. Hello, Daniel. Yeah, nervy times. You don't know what to do with yourself. You've got an hour to kill and then a potential playoff.
I didn't think he was ever going to be in this position, so it's a welcome one. Enjoy it. Don't get caught up in the moment.
Well, what a great day of golf, it has to be said. I mean, here, but of course, Tokyo this morning. If you don't know the news, Annika Sorenstam goes into the lead. Yep, the great Annika at the US Senior Women's Open. Tonight, our time in the United States. It's a golfing bonanza, really. So many amazing stories.
Yeah, this is going to test your nerves, isn't it? 6-footer, left to right to try and save par. It'd be a good one too after that tee shot. I must admit, you can definitely feel the nerves in this group now. It's exciting. No idea how that didn't break.
Break on that putt, yeah, and see there was a huge swing on it. We saw Talley's kind of take the break, and fortunately that one stayed out down the left-hand side.
So a bogey hasn't cost Cupcho the outright lead, has it? Because her co-leader for a moment has just done the same thing.
It's difficult winning your first LPGA championship, and these players are finding that right now.
Of course, Attia Titikun is coming down the last. Well, she could make eagle, I suppose. We couldn't rule her out, but it certainly looks as if it's between those top three here to take the ladies' side at the ISPS Handa World Invitational. Another poor looking live for Jordan Smith.
167, it's all of it. Bad lie, got to gouge this one out, give it all he's got.
Shoulders just starting to drop. I feel for him. He's been playing some great golf all week. Happens to everyone, doesn't it, John?
Yeah, it does. Wind a little bit out of Jordan Smith's sails at the moment. Now, this is a shot for you from Hillier. He's got some wispy stuff over the ball. The grass is going with, that's his luxury. He's on a similar yardage, 166 yards. He's about 125 to carry this bunker down the left. I'm just wondering if he's going to go with something like a 9. I need something lofted to get into the back of the ball, back of the stance. It's going to be veins of popping. One big heave-ho to get it over this bunker. Well, online that would have been absolutely fantastic. Just squirted out right on him, and now that's found the bunker. ...151 yards straight up the hill now for David Horsey. This has just got to be the perfect 8-iron for him into this slight breeze. Just kicked up a little bit, and it's got a little bit fresher. The temperature's really dropped.
Hanging a little left. Oh, really very much game on.
Emma Talley now at the 17th.
Dogleg left to right. Just the fairway wood. Trying to squeeze one round this corner.
Well, she's having next week off, Atia Titikun. She says for 2 days she's going to do absolutely nothing. Her 6th week in a row, and she's been in contention every single one of those weeks.
Just shows how good this player's golf game is. Plays well on all types of golf courses. Just half a club shy there.
Just a fairway wood.
Sure, Jonathan.
Capcho. Needs to find the fairway. That's okay.
There's the 3 positions of our 3 final players on the men's side. Just the 3 birdies we've seen there today. Delightful. Just got to keep believing, haven't you, even though you've made so many errors.
This is a tough one. She likes to aim left with her feet and right with her shoulders, so this is a tough one to work out for Jella Joy. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, the other ball there is from Uchani Michai, who's at 10 under.
Well, the ball of Hillier went quite a long way up the bunker, and that's quite handy. It's on a nice flat lie. He's got to pop this one up nice and high. It's all down and away to this flag that's lurking 28 on in the centre of this green. Like I say, you don't get a lot of spin out of these bunkers, so he's got to have to come in pretty steep and nip it perfect.
Look for a second as if it might find the bit of magic here and fall below ground.
It's going to take something like that, I think, isn't it? That was pretty close.
Pin back right here on 17. See it left of that scoreboard.
Asking it to go.
What a fabulous golf shot. 17th hole when you need it most.
To just tidy up. An excellent up and down from Jordan Smith. Yeah, just hang in there. You just don't know what's going to have par 5 to finish. He made a magical finish on, what was it, Thursday now, when he shot that round of 62.
And giving up a little bit of control from the right rough. Cupcho. Doesn't seem to be backing off though. Just seems to be going at every flag once more. Just needs to hang on. That's okay. You're better there than short. Flatter at the back of the green.
David Horsey here looking to get out of this log jam.
Yeah, it's a tall order with this putt though, Richard. Straight up the hill, breaking hard off the left. I got this a good 2 foot outside it, up the hill.
Whenever I was playing with David Horsey, I always felt like he had one in him somewhere to hold a long putt. He's got that sort of game on and around the greens, but just lacking some pace.
Second shot into 17 for Ananaruka.
Once again landing it in the great spot, just into the upslope, leaving herself a decent birdie opportunity.
Well, 2 events, 2 trophies, equal prize money. That's what this week's about. So a lot has been happening. This to stay in a share of the lead.
Took a peek there. Just pulled that.
Well, that means we've got 2 at the top. They're coming to 17 now. What, if you were Daniel Gavins, what would you suggest he should be doing? Sitting, watching?
Yeah, I would hang around probably until they tee off at 18. Everything's so nice and neat and tidy here at Galgorm. The practice ground is literally 50 yards away. There's no rush to jump on a buggy and get out there. Just watch and just save your energy, because I think you might need it.
Well done. Oh, what a good one here yesterday, didn't she, Incy?
Yeah, she did, definitely. I mean, this is a similar sort of length, 20-ish feet or so, putting back up into the wind. If anything, I'm seeing this moving a little bit off the left, but it's not far off being straight, to be honest.
It was a great effort.
I think she thought she'd hold that one. You see, it was coming in left to right and it just straightened up on her at the end.
Yeah, I'm with you. She expected that just to continue turning in. Now, it's significant this. It's only her 3rd LPGA Tour start of the year, Attia Titikun. She's had a 2nd, a 6th in a major. Right now she is 4th on the leaderboard. And she's going to stay there with around a 70. Now, if at the end of the season you finish equal to the person 40th in the rankings or better, you get your LPGA Tour card for that next season. So she's working her way towards that, even with just 3 events. And of course, she's got another 2 coming up in a few weeks' time.
Oh, Jennifer Kupcho, you have company. Birdie putt there takes to 16 under par. Looking at the stats, she ranks 46 on the LPGA for putting. I can't imagine there's 45 people better than her. She's rolled that rock incredibly well all week.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a few weeks now as well. This is her 3rd successive week in contention.
This is just an extraordinary day and an extraordinary group to be following. Emma Talley trying to roll this one in for birdie, and the whole group would be 16 under.
She walks it in. They started the day locked together. They're back as a trio at the top. Talley matches Anna Narukan, and they join Kupcho at 16 under par. 1 hole left to play, this 18th, where we find Chela Choi.
It's not been the day that Chela Choi would have wanted. Tap this one in for a par. Round of 73.
Yeah, just not enough birdies
slow
over the
weekend,
week.
yeah.
2 birdies yesterday, 2 today for Chela Choi. It's not going to get it done, but a good week as a whole. So, a par 5, the 18th to come. You would say, given her length, maybe a slight advantage to Jennifer Kupcho, but there's been nothing predictable about the way this day has unfolded so far. All locked together at 16 under par. And on the men's side, Daniel Gavins sits and waits. 2 holes left to play. Kawamura coming down the last. Hillier with that drop shot now, back at 12 under par. All to play for on both the men's and the women's side.
This is a 509-yard par 4 straight into wind. 3-shotter today, all day long.
This is like winner takes all on the 18th for this final group.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sneaks over that bunker on the right-hand side, Emma Talley. Might still be out of range though.
17th tee for Jordan Smith. He birdied both these holes on Thursday. Not going to be easy from over there though.
No, need a birdie finish to have any chance.
The thing is, you're in the group and you're all 16 under. You're standing over this ball knowing that you need to birdie it to have a chance of winning. You've got to find the short stuff first though.
Okay.
I think it'll be a layup from there anyway.
Sophie, would you think Cupcho's the only one of the 3 that could get there in 2?
So speak to Wincy, I see what this wind is like, but 500 yards, yeah, it's a long one today. So we've got 17th hole, Hillier. It's 3 wood in hand.
Well, they like it back on the tee. That's why.
Held nothing back there, Cupcho. Picks up the tee quickly. Shoots one down the left-hand side of the 18th.
Yeah, I'm not sure that pin at 18 you actually want to go for it anyway. I'd want to nestle it up the right.
Well, coming out the right rough, Jordan Smith. Straight down the breeze, pins right at the back. Can he get the spin required to hold the green?
Well, he's got it within range of a birdie chance. That's pretty well judged in that breeze. It looks pretty strong out there now.
It is, Wally. It really is. Well, 140 yards for David Horsey, and he's got to count his lucky stars. Just crept past the last tree down the right-hand side, and the grass is going with. Can easily get to the back of the ball and generate a bit of spin. But it's not going to be easy. These greens are drying out by the second. This breeze is really drying them out. The first bounce on them is massive. And he's really coming in from the short side of it as well, because the pin's on the right-hand side, tucked over on that right. It's 27 on. Wonder if he's going to go for a gap wedge and try and give it some extra sauce and generate a bit more spin, get some serious height on it. If I was a better man, he's going to be aiming this right between Jordan Smith's ball and the flag, pretty much straight at the left edge of the camera tower behind the green.
Brilliant there from Horsey. These conditions reminded me so much of in the northwest of England, how it's dry in the summer. He'll be well used to these. Gets that control out of the rough.
Well, Hillier on a little downslope here to 128 yards. This is going to make the ball fly a little bit harder to get up in the air. The wind's going to pat it down as well, but he's got the most lofty club out in the bag, giving it some 1-4.
Like it's going straight at it. Is it enough? Just It's half a club.
Just in the right rough, definitely laying up on the downhill slope, taking on the hybrid.
Just trying to leave herself the perfect yardage in. This flag is really tight left.
But of course, Masahiro Kawamura was in the picture. Unfortunately, he's had some trouble here at 18, and this only for par. So Gavins' clubhouse lead is safe. And that's a disappointing end. Made a couple of really good par saves. The Japanese player at 16 and 17 after those back-to-back birdies, but a bogey at the end when he needed to make birdie means it's going to be another near miss for the Japanese.
All of Inanarukan's misses off the tee have been left, and this one's really sat down again, trying to muscle one out with an iron.
Yeah, done very well. Picked a good line, used the camber. She's got the best angle possible there. That's a really good layup.
So Incy, Jennifer Kupcho.
Yeah, you could see Kupcho was wanting to take it on, but the sensible thing is to perhaps lay up.
Looking down the right. Just drawn away now. That's a slight error.
Well, she must have been in two minds there, Sophie, whether to try and pound one down there.
Yeah, but good caddying. That risk is far too much. There's just so much trouble down the left-hand side. It's not a flag you can access with a fairway wood. It's hard enough with a wedge in your hand.
Yeah. I just wonder whether she could squeeze one down the right-hand side and get it up close to the green side. But anyway, she decided to lay up, and unfortunately she's in the rough now. Here come the birdie putts at 17.
Yeah, it's getting all along the line now, isn't it? As we see Hillier here up the hill, try to go for full whammy with a lobber, but couldn't carry it all the way to the back portion of this green. And now he's left himself an uphill putt, and then it will speed up as it gets near the hole. Got a little bit of right movement on this one, maybe a couple of balls off it.
Only one birdie on this back nine for this group. It just shows you what pressure does to you. They've been firing the pins out. All of a sudden, every putt is 20 feet away.
Well, that means Hillier will come down the last 12 under, so he'll have to birdie the 18th if he's going to join this man at 13 under. Gavins is now at the range. Well, Kupcho obviously can't get at this flag. She's not got too many options here, Incy.
Yeah, I have to believe that coming out of the rough, she's going to really struggle to go at this pin.
Nothing wrong with being a little.
Unfortunately, we've stopped communication with Incy Mehmet, but Kupcho, one of our three leaders, third to 18.
Looking just right of it unless she pulls it left.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What a big error from Jennifer Kupcho.
Oh, she can't even look at him, can she? She was aiming right of that flag, and Clough face closed. It's like she started to go looking for the flag in the downswing, and just didn't see that coming, I've got to say. Thought she'd been really mature today in the way she's played. Maybe she wasn't happy with that layup. Maybe she wanted to chase it onto the front edge, but
Oh, now the realisation.
yeah, she could have just thrown this title away with one poor swing.
Let's clean the lie, better angle. Will come here. She You're looking at that gentleman at the back of the green, maybe just trying to spin it left. And there you see in the demonstration of a really, really nasty final pin. It does ask the question.
Now, as you said, Anthony, though, Emma Talley has given herself an angle here where she could maybe get at this flag.
Absolutely, by far the best angle, but is she just a little bit too close? She played a wonderful recovery, considering she was in the rough. And at this point, it's all about how brave you are, how good a number you have, and how hard you've practiced at this distance, because this is mega pressure.
Well, it's so easy, isn't it, to throw a bit of right hand into this one.
67 yards. Are you going to go for it? That didn't sound 100%.
Oh, good job it wasn't 100%. It's held onto the back edge. She'll have a look at birdie. Bit of adrenaline in that one from Talley.
Just to let you know, Daniel Hillier has missed his return putt. He's missed that short par putt. It's another bogey for the Kiwi. He's back at 11 under. So you have to think, really, unless we see an eagle from either Hillier or Smith, that we're down to either Horsey or Gavins now for the title. There you go. Gavins on the range after a brilliant weekend. 66, 65, 13 under par. David Horsey, one over for the day, but in a share of the lead.
This one going.
And after that big mistake from Jennifer Cupcho, of course she could still get up and down and make a par. Pardon, no, she would be playing up and down for a bogey, wouldn't she? So you'd have to think it's between Emma Talley and Anna Narukan, who have both got birdie putts to come. Back on the tee is our co-leader, David Horsey.
A massive moment with David Horsey's wedge game. If he finds the fairway. Oh my. You've got to think he had visions of it going right. What have you done, David Horsey?
Well, suddenly Daniel Gavins is in the favourites role here. He won't be aware of what's going on, but with Horsey in big trouble, suddenly 13 under par looks like a competitive total, doesn't it? Oh, Daniel Gavins, what an unlikely winner that would be if that is the case.
Jennifer Cupcho and Emma Talley.
Eagle required. Jordan Smith.
Yeah, not beyond the realms, is it? We haven't actually seen an eagle today, but we have seen an eagle this week at this course. Remember Laurie Cantor making a fabulous one, didn't he, on day one? Same required for Daniel Hillier after that short miss at the last.
That's a knuckleball, straight down 18, down the left-hand side.
Holloway 3.
Gets the fast track. Will it go in that bunker? That's a long hit from the tee. 315 yards to that bunker, and he's found it.
Well, he's been playing well on the Challenge Tour. Daniel Gavins, he's been around a little while. Played on the Euro Pro Tour, Challenge Tour, of course.
The pressure's really on now. 50-yard pitch shot over the water hazard.
Has to go in, really.
Yeah, never even had a chance, did it? That's just a really poor hole for Kupcho. I'd say that she would have been the favourite on that 18th tee with her amateur record, but pro ranks it's difficult to get that win, and this 18th hole, new design.
This water hazard you see here wasn't here when we had the Irish Open back in September.
And you've got to say, I wasn't sure about it when I first saw it, but what a difference it's made. It's completely changed the complex of the second shot and the final hole of the tournament. I mean, it's really added so much more spice to this. Because if you know, if you're hitting the water, you're going to cost you one, if not two shots, completely different to last year. It's a great change.
Well, of course, we're almost down to a putting contest now, aren't we, between Pajari and Narukan and Emma Talley to win the title here.
This is a left to right putt from about 20 feet.
We're seeing the errors, aren't we, on this 18th hole? She's putted brilliantly all week and down the slope. These greens have got firmer and firmer. The adrenaline's in there as well. Chased it past. What does Emma Talley do here then, Anthony?
Well, that's the thing. I was just about to say, it's a career-changing moment, but now it could go the other way. So. And it's a pure match play situation. You get a putt now that is makeable, but do you go for it? How brave, Emma Talley, do you want to be? I'm not so sure that she needs to race it.
This is to win the ISPS Handa World Invitational, though, for the American.
That was a huge pull.
So, Kupcho can do no better than 6, and Narukan and Talley can do no better than 5. Remember, they came to this 18th all tied for the lead, but real pressure on for the putt coming up in a moment for Anna Narukan, but of course first it's going to be Kupcho for her 6.
A disappointing finish, that's for sure. Just straight down the hill. Anything creeping in off the left edge here.
Yeah, she'll just be wanting to get this over and done with. She won't be thinking about all the Solheim putt points she could get. Oh, it's a good finish though, isn't it? I mean, she'll be wanting the win. It's been a good week for Kupcho. Just a disappointing 18th hole.
Yeah, gutsy. Very gutsy at the end.
Well, that's the kind of putt you want to hole at the 72nd, but not for a bogey 6. Well, there's a bit of stress on this one for Pajari and Narukan.
She's a wonderful putter, but she's going to need to be here.
Is there much in this putt, Incy?
Definitely not too much at all, and I think when there's that much pressure on, the subtleties I find a bit more challenging. You don't want to put outside the cup, but it's definitely well within.
Well, Emma Talley's in pretty close. Fantastic. Oh, that was brave. Pujari Ananarukan sets the 16 under target that's surely about to be matched by Emma Talley. So this for the playoff. Extra holes required on the women's side as Emma Talley taps in for her part and matches Anna Rukan's 70. They will go again. The 27-year-old from Kentucky and the 22-year-old from Thailand. Neither who have won yet on the LPGA Tour. Well, one of them will achieve that in extra holes. That was a brave putt, wasn't it, from Pujari Ananarukan there?
Well, it's one of those, that first one, you think, what have I done here? And then to have to hole it, she knew what she had to do. It was that or nothing.
Now we saw David Horsey's tee shot. John, what's happened here?
It's bad news. Lost ball. This is his provisional, so unfortunately this is his fourth shot now. Out with the iron, long way back, laying up.
So he needs to get down in 2 to force a playoff.
He does.
It's the best swing he's made all afternoon. David Horsey, beautiful layup.
Oh, what an extraordinary situation here. Daniel Gavins, who finished about an hour ago, is on the verge of becoming a European Tour winner. A player who said after this week he's going to focus on the Challenge Tour, but I don't think he will be. Not when you become a European Tour winner, although we can't say it's over just yet.
Smith with some restriction in the backswing from the tree. He wanted to go for it in 2. He can't do that, I wouldn't have thought. He's trying to conjure up some kind of wonder shot here to advance it.
Be careful that left-hand bunker, just send it down the right. Try and get some sort of turn on it and give him the best angle, which he's not done.
Well, Jordan Smith has to make a 3. He has to hole from there. Of course, David Horsey has to hole his as well. Daniel Gavins, who has never had a top 10 on the European Tour. Watching the pictures there.
And the wonders of technology is just about to let him know.
Yeah. And of course, this man also needs to make an eagle, so all he can do is lay up as well. So one of them is going to have to pitch it in to deny Gavins.
I've got to think Daniel Hillier will have his day reasonably soon. I've seen so much wonderful signs for him, and it's all pluses in my eyes. The young fella.
Well, who would have picked out Daniel Gavins at the start of the day? He's twice been on the European Tour before, twice struggled. He played in 2016 and 2019.
No, he's got that, forget it.
Missed a lot of cuts, had to spend 2018 on the Euro Pro Tour.
How is it?
Finished about an hour ago.
It's a bit behind, isn't it?
No, it's going to be. Yeah, it's
Lead that Let knows when he's gone.
What a position to be in.
I can hear the commentary. So
Watching on a mobile phone.
You want Sky Go?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to take a miracle shot, isn't it, from these 3 players, one of them, to deny him.
Telling for your thoughts.
It's caddy Liam Harrison as well, trying to stay calm there too. He started the day, Daniel Gavins, 7 shots off the lead.
Yeah, 2 birdies on the back 9, which is actually 1 more than the whole of the final group this afternoon. This is What a turnaround we've seen. Quite incredible.
Well, it's life-changing, isn't it?
Going in a few balls and just calmed down.
Yeah, I think I'd be struggling to watch this right now, but this is, as I say, what he's been dreaming of, and he'd have thought these guys would have had a chance to, maybe he's thinking possibly I might get into a playoff if I'm lucky. Looks like they're going to give him this tournament right now.
So, John, we know the equation. One of them has to hole. What's Hillier got?
It's just got to go in. 1-2-2, that's all he's got. But there's water between him and the hole. He's got to try and draw this one in with a bit of side spin and just flush it straight in the hole. This crowd would go nuts if it went in.
He's having a go at it. Yeah, best we've seen.
But he knows his race is run.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed for sure, but it's been a great week and a great experience.
One down, 2 to go.
Just splitting his ball in the pin. That's in and out your left.
Well, coming out of the rough, not going to be able to get the spin that he would vitally need with this tight pin.
All right. Okay, see your shot.
80 yards to go. One thing on his mind. Just take dead aim. All water is left. Anything shy, doesn't quite catch it. It's going to be swimming.
Brilliant crowd down the right. Can you imagine?
Oh, it is absolutely stacked, Anthony.
Well, for a long time this week, Jordan Smith looked like he was destined for a second European Tour title. Just too many big errors, particularly the one at 6.
Yeah, Smith.
He's looking calm enough, isn't he?
He's in a wonderful
Yeah, I was going to
position.
say, I would be right now.
Yeah.
What are the chances of Horsey holding it from where he is?
You live?
Mike, can you live? No, he's not hit it yet.
Preferred lies, of course. Or is he, Feeney's there?
Yeah, it came to rest on the walkway, crossway there, Richard. He's going to have 56 yards to go. He's been able to drop it back. It's a really tight bare light. White lines signal it's GUR, so very under repair.
Not much better in the game than David Horsey from in and around 80-90 yards, but this would be a huge ask.
It would, Anthony, but then from this range all week he's been nipping these absolutely brilliant, able to get so much spin on these little shots. He needs one here more than ever.
I think he's got quite a good angle, John, yeah?
He's perfect angle, coming in from the right side, and a saving grace bit of breeze into his face. Has to go.
Well, it was a great try. But that means Daniel Gavins is a European Tour winner.
Everything. Really?
Extraordinary. But it was a bonus week.
Yeah. Josh, please.
Nothing to lose. He was going for it on the Challenge Tour. He doesn't have to go back. He's a European Tour winner. We'll hear from him in just a minute. This was the moment where he finished off his round of 65 an hour or so ago. Who would have thought then that that would be the winning putt? Let's hear from our champion. He's with Josh.
Daniel Gavins, you are a European Tour winner. Tell us how you feel.
I can't believe it. I was like 7 behind going into like the last round, and I felt like I'd just play solid round and kind of, I'm speechless. I don't really know what to say.
Were you nervous at all today going, or did you just try and shoot as low as you could?
Yeah, I was a little nervous before. I just tried to shoot as low as I could really today. 7 behind, I didn't really think, I was within a chance of winning. So I just maybe a bit less pressure there, but yeah.
I know you played a lot of Challenge Tour. You've played well on Challenge Tour this this year. Coming here, I know you said was a bonus.
Yeah.
Did you expect to get anywhere near the winner's circle this week?
Well, I've been playing well, so. But no. I was going to have the week off, so I knew there was a lot of challenge show events coming up. So I thought a week off here maybe, and then play the rest of the challenge show. But yeah.
Tell us, what does this mean to you and the rest of this season and your career going forward as well?
I just can't believe it. I don't think it's sunk in at all. It'll take a while to sink in, I think, but yeah, what an amazing day.
Pretty amazing. Daniel, go and enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you,
well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, Dan.
Winner, everything.
Well,
Really?
the moment he realised he's a winner on the European Tour. He's not the only one that's speechless. I mean, it's been an extraordinary day. We're not done yet either, Sophie, but
Hold on, we're just going to take it. Josh, please.
not even had a top 10 on the European Tour before, and suddenly you're a winner.
He's just in complete shock, isn't he? He didn't think this was going to happen. You see by that interview, it's like it's changed his life. He doesn't know what he's going to do for the rest of the season. Now he's got himself a European Tour card for a couple of years.
Well, the men's side is done at the ISPS Handa World Invitational presented by Modest Golf Management. Of course, Horsey, Smith and Hillier still have to putt out, but they can't stop Daniel Gavins. The 30-year-old from Leeds is a European Tour champion.
"15 feet down the hill for Daniel Hillier. It's been a valiant effort, one that I'm sure he'll take forward for the rest of his career. A little bit maybe unexpected, but I'm sure there's more to come.
There's a lot of prize money here to play for, of course. I mean, there's about $60,000 difference between second and third. Hillier finishes up in 11 under par, which at the moment is in a share of third, although Horsey, of course, has already played 5 here. So this is a significant putt for David Horsey in terms of finance, of course. He was only thinking about the title.
Yeah, that's huge for David Horsey. You don't like to talk about keeping your job and keeping your card, but it's what it's all about. Lots of points to play for. That was a huge putt, as you say, Richard. And a good week. Disappointing, but a very, very positive good week for Horsey going forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, considering he wasn't even sure he was going to play this week, Sophie.
No, he was going to take the week off. So second, I'm sure he'll look back and think it's one that's got away, but he's not been playing that well. Some vital race to Dubai points.
Yeah, so he was 168th on that race to Dubai before the start of the week. And just the par to finish for Jordan Smith, who led for so long. Of course, he was the man at 15 under at the start of the day in 74. The triple bogey at 6, the double bogey at 11. Much for him to contemplate on a week where there were so many positives.
Yeah, huge moments for so many this week. There's still one more title to be decided.
Yeah, the ladies, Emma Talley and Fajarian and Arukar making their way back to the 18th for the women's playoff of this ISPS Handa World Invitational.
It's a great hole, actually, isn't it, Sophie, to play a playoff?
Yeah, it
Decisions
is.
galore.
I don't think they'll be able to go for it in 2, so they'll be relying on their pitching into this green.
Dan Maselli there from the LPGA Tour, drawing the lots to decide who's going to play first.
And I think looking at the playoff ahead here, for these two, it's all about where you leave your layup, and I think you've got to leave it as far right and possibly as far back as you can to give yourself some sort of control on the third. So it's all down to the tee shot, quite frankly.
Totally agree, and I think Emma Talley will be pleased that Jennifer Kupcho is not in this playoff, not only because she's a very good player, but also because their boyfriend's caddying. It's very much, she can just get on with it and not have to look around and look for him. She can concentrate very much on this.
Well, NC and John are going to be following this playoff down the 18th for us.
Looking to maybe just cut this one, using the right-hand side of the tee as a bit of a guide. That'd be close to the bunker, I feel.
I was looking to stamp her authority by going first. Mistake off the tee for Talley.
So, Anna Narukhan with a chance to maybe give herself a slight advantage in this playoff.
Yeah, just moments ago found the left rough. The carry of the right fairway bunker is 224 yards. The wind's just died down a bit, so it's carryable.
Looks like she's following Emma Talley over there.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's no bother.
Well, we talk about Daniel Gavins and how life-changing it is. Of course, Emma Talley and Fajarian and Narukhan are looking for their first wins at this level. And this, it was a little while ago now. Who knew the significance of it? Finishing out with a par and a round of 65. 65 shots that proved good enough to be a European Tour winner. Started the day 7 back, he birdied 2. And this was in the bunker at 5.
Yeah, a pretty ordinary start, but the absolute perfect bunker shot. There's 2 birdies in the first 5.
Yeah, he birdied 6 as well to go out in 31.
And if you're going to win a tournament, you need a bit of luck. 60 feet from here, it never looked anywhere else. Birdie 3 on 13.
And Anthony, you're happy enough if you do that once in the round, but he managed to do it again.
And the thing for me is he managed to keep his emotions in check, because when things like that start to happen, you start to wonder. He doesn't know what's happening behind. He's just trying to have a good finish. But when you do it again, you start to wonder.
He had a good chance to make birdie at 17, left it right in the jaws, and then at 18, well, yeah, he wasn't going in the water, was he?
Well, there's a leaderboard just behind this hole. He would have seen his name at the very top of it, so no surprise, he just lagged one up there.
But at this point, you really need to take stock of your emotions and not do anything stupid, because you never quite know what's going to happen. An hour after this moment, it actually did happen. Probably just going to finish nestled in second, but wow, what a moment for Daniel Gavins.
And now he's going to get his hands on the trophy. ISPS Handa ambassador Enda Kenny and Niall Horan are on place to hand it over.
Give it a go.
Well, it maybe feels real now for Daniel Gavins, the men's champion at the ISPS Handa World Invitational, presented by Modis Golf Management. What a day. So, one champion decided, one still to be decided.
So Nana Rukhan to go first. And between the 2 balls, this one's sitting up much nicer. The maximum layup yardage here is about 150 yards. Otherwise, the lip does come into play. You're better off clubbing down, trying to get some lofts. Get it up and out quick.
looks to only have a wedge in her hand, needing to get plenty of height. Just getting it safely back into the centre of the fairway.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed when they showed the ball there, she marks her ball good luck. She's been doing that since she was 12 years old. Well, this is the time when you need a little bit of luck.
As long as you're 100% confident of getting over. I mean, we're not what is
Talley in a similar scenario here, up against the face of the bunker.
That's getting over. I'm fine with it.
A little bit closer to the lip as well. She's got to get up this really quick, nip it perfectly. Easily to cap too much sand, and she could be well short of her opponent.
Doesn't want to be greedy and miss the fairway. It's so important that you hit this fairway, Emma Talley.
Good.
Wow, she nipped that perfectly.
Off that slight upslope. She'll be second to play.
Not sure in the circumstances whether you want to be first to play. I'd probably want to be first to play, but if a mistake is made, then yes, you'd want to be second to play. So interesting. Trying to win a tournament takes a lot of guts to win one. It's not easy.
Neither player, of course, have been in this scenario before. Anna Narukan, of course, has won on the local Thai tour before. But of course, this is very different for the 22-year-old. She was with Minji Lee last week when she ended up lifting the trophy.
I wonder where Ellen is. But I wonder where Ellen is.
Whistling, trying to keep herself relaxed, Emma Talley. She's done a good job of that, even when she's had some problems. She's had 4 bogeys today. She's managed to smile her way through most of them.
What's that?
Not much between them in the bunker, not much between them on the fairway.
...178 yards straight into the wind. I mean, it's playing long.
Yeah, I agree.
Tough pin position today, isn't it? That is definitely a Sunday pin, front left, just flirting with the water hazard. New feature on 18.
Got to be taking this right at the flag though, hasn't she, Incy?
100%, just aiming, I mean, even at left edge of those right greenside bunkers. And if it draws in, it draws in. If it stays out, it stays out.
Yeah, 7, 8, or...
Well, it's not too bad at all, relatively flat.
Long, totally fine now.
There we go.
Commit to your target.
About you guys, but I feel almost 5. You'd almost take 5 at this point from 178 yards into the breeze with water left. Take your chance.
This is looking good.
Oh, that's exactly where she was aiming. She's just picked her target but been aggressive with that swing.
Of course, we're going to be beyond our scheduled finishing time, but of course, we will be seeing the conclusion of this playoff in the women's section of this ISPS Handa World Invitational.
Well, 10 yards further up here for Talley, 168 yards out of the wood. I'm going to have to float this one up nice and high. It's the only way you're going to be able to stop it nice and soft. Pretty straight into her. It's really chilling out here.
She's applying a magical moment and go at this pin. There's a golf shot. Just so hard to get anywhere near this flag.
I just wonder what sort of putt she's got there. Which way's the green moving?
A difficult one is left to right all the way. We saw it was pretty quick as well. 1 or 2 earlier on. They've both got really tough putts.
Yeah, but they've both stepped up and hit 2 great shots in there. You can see the fist pump. Caddy knows how good that hybrid was. Great response.
Well, whatever happens, it's going to be a best ever LPGA Tour finish for both these players. What an opportunity here in Northern Ireland.
Great to see. You've got 4 smiling faces. They're all really enjoying the challenge of trying to win a golf tournament.
Well, this is what you want. Anna Narukan here, of course, from Thailand, looking to become the 4th Thai to win on the LPGA Tour. And then you've got Emma Talley.
Welcome back onto the 18th green in the playoff.
The announcements here for the players.
Padri, Anna Narukan and Emma Talley.
I was going to say, and Emma Talley, who has great memories of Ireland, played the Junior Solheim Cup here back in 2011 in Killeen Castle. And I'm not sure what time it is in Japan, but of course she's very good friends with Justin Thomas, both from Kentucky, both went to Alabama, calls him a big brother. Said watching him succeed has been extra motivation for her. You can see her doing her breathing exercises there.
Yeah, you'll be feeling it now. The heart rate will be racing, and this is where you want to try and calm yourself down over these long putts. That's the great thing about golf. You've got to get pumped up for the driver, and then you've got to slow your heart rate right down for these type of scenarios.
Just trying to not allow any negative thoughts to come in. Just focus on one shot at a time, not the one before or after. Just stay in the present.
John, I think it's Emma Talley to go first, is it?
Yeah, by just a whisker, it really is. I mean, they've got 2 beastie putts coming up, and well, Talley taking a flag out, having a good butchers of this, and I gotta say, the edge of the green is in play. She's just gonna have to graze the edge of the left edge of this green. That'll be to her right. She puts back towards this flag. And it's got to have a little bit of turn from left to right as it gets near the hole. It looks like it's on the edge of the world, this pin. Short left, right by the new water feature they put in here on 18. But this is a monster, absolutely well over 60, 65 feet at least. A little bit downhill as well, the first half of this putt. I've got a feeling kind of where it gets to the edge of the green on the right, it's going to just sling it a little bit from right to left, and then it will come back. But to put the pressure on, just make sure this is stone dead. Ask the question.
Pretty good, just couldn't hit it high enough because of the fringe on the right hand side. Very good for pace.
I have to say, I would like to have seen that past the hole though, just to make the return a little easier. That to me doesn't look appetising.
And if you're Anna Narukan now, you just want to try and cozy one down there, tap in range.
A little bit like Emma Talley in regulation. She gave it a chance but wasn't going to prepare to roll it past, and this is obviously double the length of that, so this is a really difficult effort, but you know you've got pace built in.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you can practice your 55 footers all day long, but you can't practice it under the same sort of pressure and situation like this, going for your first LPGA win. Downhill, working it in left to right.
We get a great look at what she faces. Aiming, it's 3 feet out to the left.
outside of Emma Talley. She charged the one past, didn't she, in regulation, and maybe that caused her to be a little too cautious.
Yeah, might have played a part, but that's fully 9 or 10 feet. Two tough putts to come.
She hasn't lost a turn.
And moments like these, it's very easy to overcomplicate the line, and you just got to stick to your routine, not have too many looks. You can really sort of go to town on these and overplay it. Just stick to your routine, have your normal couple of looks, couple of practice swings, and then just try and go for it. The more importance you put on this, the harder it is, I believe, to hold it.
Well, she held it last time when she needed to. Similar stuff. Just inside left edge.
Well, this putt will really ask the question of Emma Talley. You've got to see the line, visualise it going in the middle of the cup. Take a deep breath, just let the putter do its thing.
Is that the moment? How cool was she?
Brilliant. Unbelievable, never left the middle of the hole. Absolute amazing, perfect pace, perfect line. That was a steal.
Now Emma Talley has to try and follow her in.
Emma Talley's legs might feel like Michael Flatley right now, but I tell you what, she just got to aim this firm and straight. See it disappear.
Same routine that we've seen all week. Stands behind the ball, a couple of practice strokes, got to quieten the mind, quiet those hands that grip that putter.
How do you like those putts? We go again. That was not easy, those two putts from there. Well played, Emma Talley, well played, Pajari and an Arukan.
Yeah, magnificent. Your body doesn't feel the same. Your mind's playing havoc with you, with your hands. Stuck to their routines, kept the heart rate down, stuck to their process. I don't like that word, but they certainly did, and oof, brilliant, phenomenal.
Well, let's have a look back to how these players got into the playoff. Emma Talley, of course, it was a three-way tie overnight, and Talley birdied 1, 3, 4.
She bogeyed 6, but replied with a birdie there.
And really went through a little bit of a rough patch with 3 bogeys in 4 holes. But then this was clutch to really, walking it in. And a par at 18 to make it into the playoff. And a solid 2-putt for that par.
Yeah, Jennifer Kupcher, of course, had gone into the water, so that's why she wasn't part of it. Pajari and an Arukan also birdied 3 of the first 4 holes and then made a triple at 6.
And then look at this, chip in on the 8th. Great touch.
Yeah, she had 5 birdies on the front 9, 2 on the back. This was the second of them.
Yeah, quite a quiet back 9, but it was needed, really. Everyone was faltering around her, and she just kept a solid golf.
Yeah, and after rushing her birdie putt past, I should say, this was to make it into playoff. A bit of relief there.
This was to make her 5 and make Talley hold hers. Which she does. And then Emma Talley walks one in, and we go back to the 18th tee.
The playoff will now continue onto its second hole. Also
Nice bit of chatter as well. Sorry, Richard. Nice bit of chatter coming off the 18th there. They're nice and relaxed. They're enjoying their situation they're in. It's all good, isn't it?
You got 3 people though. Yeah. I'm gonna wreck into you.
That's Brandon Winton there chatting away. Emma Talley's caddy. She has seemed relaxed, Emma, most of the week, really.
Yeah, I met her for the first time this week on the range. What a lovely girl with a great southern accent. Seems like lots of the players on the LPGA Tour really like her and will be cheering for her. And this attitude she's kept from the first tee shot all the way through to now, hasn't shown any negativity. When you're sleeping on a lead, it can be nerve-wracking. Now in the playoff, just got to keep that positive attitude.
Yeah, Pajariana Narukan here says she learned a lot playing with Minjee Lee last week when she triumphed at Evian. Says she learned just watching how patient she was. I mean, you saw that today. You just never know what's going to happen in this game. Just got to stick with it. I mean, Daniel Gavins, I'm still trying to recover personally from what's happened on the men's side of things today.
But isn't it great that we're going to have 2 winners and it will literally change their lives?
So, second playoff hole, Talley to strike first.
Yeah, the bunker on the right, 225 to carry. She got it in her to get over. The breeze is into her face and it's cooled right off. You've got to be down the left, 260 to find the bunker down the left.
She's trying to aim further left. A similar result. Has she hit it better? No.
Snap.
Well, Anna Narukan has had 1 left and 1 right at this 18th so far today.
Took the words out my mouth, Richard. The line is definitely left edge of this right bunker, and everything feeds and kicks down. I don't think that bunker on the left is in reach today.
Carbon copies, both tee shots there, but that one skipped over the bunker, so she will have the advantage, be able to get it a bit further down this 18th green fairway.
Don't think she realises that she's actually cleared the bunker this time. Second playoff hole as we try and determine a winner of this women's side of the ISPS Handa World Invitational. Well, I'm just trying to put this into perspective, guys. Daniel Gavins winning here today. I mean, we've seen some extraordinary wins this season. I'm thinking Richard Bland, thinking Marcus Armitage, great comeback stories. Where does this fit in with all that? I mean, the biggest shock of the season?
It's come out of nowhere, and he's been on the European Tour before, but he's struggled a lot. I follow him on social media, and he's been to and fro, plays a lot of golf in the north. And it's one of those that this can change your life this week. A lot of people would have thought that, but he could never believe he'd be kissing that trophy on Sunday afternoon. It's a fairy tale.
Well, he started the week outside the top 200 on the race to Dubai. There he is at number 78, and he'll be eyeing up the chance to make it to the DP World Tour Championship in Dubai at the end of the season. His season has changed completely. He was off to the Challenge Tour next week. He won't need to bother with that. He was was thinking of a week off, wasn't he, this week? We can put his feet up next week instead.
Yeah, he can start planning, booking a few flights and travelling the world as a European Tour winner, more importantly, which is something not everyone has done. It's quite a feeling, I can tell you.
Yeah, Wentworth's around the corner. Well, we had the pleasure of Niall Horan joining us in the commentary box earlier. Of course, this event presented by Modest Golf Management. He is the owner and played such a big part in getting this event in this format going this week. And of course, he's lapping it up as well, as we all are.
Yeah, they've done a sterling job. I mean, it's been a magnificent week. We've seen some great golf. We've seen some dodgy weather. The sun's come out on the Sunday. It's been phenomenal.
Well, deja vu for Talley here in the bunker on the upslope, just 1.5 meters from the lip of the bunker. Good clean strike.
A little left.
Yeah, that's not going to be a fun third shot from there.
I said it earlier, it's all about the drive, this par 5 for the women. They have to find the fairway or even keep it above ground just to give yourself some sort of angle for the third.
Incy, she's having a good look at a ball here. Is there any particular reason why?
Yeah, it's just sat down in this rough on the right a little bit, and you've got the trees in your way. And then the Rukhan will know that they need to play it into the right half of the fairway here. Definitely opens up the third shot into the green that way.
Yeah, that won't be easy from the angle we're looking at, would it, Sophie?
No, it won't. And you've just got to find your number really and try and leave yourself a really good pitch into this left flag. No, Talley's in trouble.
You've got the bunkers on the left, which is 145 yards. So, the 160 shot.
I just want to know.
Gotcha. Like the first two bunkers?
To cover the left one.
Oh, to cover it.
I mean the further one.
Just to
Dad's
cover
going
it.
to my left. He's definitely feeling the nerves too.
43.
Yeah, to get to the fairway. 175 to the fairway. What club is that?
I'm thinking playing a 7.
7 iron?
Yeah, I think 6 is good.
Or do you like 8 iron? Because if we just, I'm looking more like straight over the tree.
Right, so play like 150 shot?
Yeah.
That's gonna leave me like 100 front?
Yeah. That's perfect now. In slightly off the right. At the
flag?
ISPS.
Finish at the flag?
Finish at the flag. 1 o'clock.
Nice, clear, concise instructions. That helps you paint the picture.
Yeah, well played.
Oh, it's a couple of yards from being good.
You can see the caddy trying to ask her to go further right with her start line, and you can see she just didn't want to, just erring on the left side. He knew how important it was to find this fairway.
Well, this is a shot that'll test your nerve.
Well, 142 yards Talley's got. Sat down quite considerably. The only way she can get in at this green is down the right. It's a low punchy one into this brisk wind into her face. Daren't look at this flag, fraught with danger. She'll have to hit it so high. So I think she's going for the punch shot. It's going to be a very brave move to take this pin on.
Well, it's great to hear such a big shout there, Emma. More worried about the watching spectators than she is about her and her golf ball there. Giving plenty of warning. Can't say that's always been the case watching golf this year.
Andrew Snoddy, the tournament director, was racing up there to keep an eye on the ball. He's done a great job this week for the European Tour.
All the Thai players have waited there. Vichani Michai and Taya Titakun there at the front, providing their support to Pujari and Narukan. Of course, Thai golf has really flourished on the LPGA Tour. It all has really emanated from the tournament they've been having there over the last decade or so, and of course for the first time they had the home winner this season when Area Jatanagan saw off Taya Titakun.
Yeah.
Carry like 7 on.
105. That's 8 on.
8 on. Yeah, 8 on.
It's 105. Breeze is in from the right. 1 o'clock. 105 playing 8 more.
Yeah.
13.
13.
Yeah. I mean,
like 46 now.
yeah, definitely. I mean, 15's fine. You could do for the 15 shot.
Okay.
And you're looking like finish like the R and the M in Gal Gorm. Just commit to your target.
Phil, she needs to try and attempt to get it inside 20 feet. Exactly the right decision, because the Talley down the right hand side can easily get up and down, so she still needs to try and keep the pressure on here and win this. Give herself a chance down the hill, maybe from pin high. That should be her focus, trying to get it pin high.
102 yards, wind into off the right.
Well, she's left herself that putt. We've seen that already, haven't we, from Emma Talley? Wasn't far away from the water as well, was it?
It's gone miles. She's got the club face, turned it a touch and got a flyer out of that rough. Just looking at her caddy thinking, how did it go that far? It's adrenaline and a slightly closed club face.
Yes, looking at the water hazard in front, I think, the penalty area. It's just, you just add a little bit of, take a little bit of loft off it, and all of a sudden it jumps. Pressure does amazing things to you.
How do you fancy this then, chipping straight towards the water hazard?
Yeah, Richard, this isn't easy. Big tuft of grass lurks behind Talley's ball. She's on the downslope as well. And there's a little knuckle short and right of this green, and that's where she's got to pitch it on. She goes a yard too much, it catches a downslope and it'll feed all the way down towards the water. This is rapid. It really is. High-skilled tower shot applied on this one. If you're brave, you go the aerial route. Just how brave are you?
Come on. Go on.
That was the water behind the hole, wasn't it? It scares even the best players in the world. Under the most pressure, just quit on that shot there.
Yeah, it wasn't sitting very well. You could just see her right hand almost chase it through and just caught it, I think, a little bit high up the club face. Really wasn't very nice, but if it pitched on the green, it would have released all the way down.
We've seen some really good two putts on this green in this playoff and at the 72nd hole, but well, this one's probably the hardest of the lot coming up for Anna Naruka.
We'll find out pretty soon, but I'm not convinced she can actually go at the pin. It's probably going to have to be 6 foot left. Narukan. There's plenty of golf left here, yeah.
What a day we've had. Double the fun, double the trouble.
I mean, a yard further right, and Anna Narukan would definitely have to chip this one over the water feature. So, to say the least, this is quite a challenging putt. Definitely putting through the fringe. And I almost would take line out of it. It's all about the pace. a 2-putt from here would be superb.
She's got herself a 25-yard putt, and this is the problem where she stood right now. She's going to have to go from green to fringe back onto the green.
I think she's doing the right thing though. She's going to obviously hit it a bit harder. She's got a bit of a backstop as well. I think if she plays left, it's 8 feet minimum. So I think you're right to take this on. Hard to be brave in these circumstances, but I think it is the right play. Displayed amazing touch all week.
Yeah, but I would say this is one that you would practice much. I've never really felt that through the fringe. At least it's kind of halfway in the pot, so you've still got plenty of pace on the ball as it's travelling through. Almost roadblock in the middle. Very good for pace. See, didn't dare hit it any further right. It's understandable in this situation.
So they're as they lie. Both have played 4. Both have downhill putts to come.
This is a rapid putt, little breaker off the right hand side. Pressure's mounting. You can just see a caddy there picking a point halfway down this putt. I mean, that chip, if she just went 1 yard further, it would have caught a little down, so it fed right down. She'd have been quarter of this, well, over 3/4 of the distance closer. And this one now, I got this a couple of balls outside it, straight downhill.
It's one of those. Your playing partner is not dead. She's not got a... She's going to have to make a putt here.
So it's going to be a bogey 6 for Talley. She'll pop that in. She has to watch now because Bajari and Narukan has a putt for an LPGA Tour breakthrough.
She's displayed such calmness of mind in the last half an hour or so.
And of everybody we've watched, certainly on the women's side of things, she's mastered these greens better than anyone.
See there, she's trying to break the putt into probably three parts. That's the way she sees green reading.
Well, it's the third pressure part. Just outside the right edge for me.
What a fantastic way to finish a special day in Northern Ireland. Pajari Ananarukan is a winner for the very first time on the LPGA Tour. She has made 3 brilliant 2 putts on that 18th green, the last of which proved to be the winning moment. She is the ISPS Handa, and there's Dan. She is the ISPS Handa World Invitational Champion.
Well, that's what it means to the whole team. Beautiful moment.
Well, what a day it's been. So much drama, so many great stories. We can hear from our newest LPGA Tour champion.
Thank you.
Pajari, it was a very long day, but you're an LPGA champion. Tell us how you're feeling.
Honestly, just speechless. Really wanted to thank everyone along the way, those who believe in me at the very beginning. I would have done and I wouldn't come this far without them. Yeah.
Tell us, after the 6th hole, where you triple bogeyed, how were you thinking when you got to the 7th tee?
Short-term memories. Yeah, it's just just forgot. Just kind of, just hit up and tell myself to keep trying, keep doing, just do the best I can.
You hold 3 great putts here on this 18th green. Were you nervous at all over them?
Obviously yes. I was nervous, but I was actually surprised how I handle my nerves a little out there. Yeah.
And how nice is it to have your friends here coming on the green to celebrate with you?
It's really nice. It's always great to see them, out here, especially such a special memory.
Pajari, you're an LPGA champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can hear her breathing there, how she's trying to control it even now. It's all very overwhelming, but she's learnt a lot about herself in this situation. She can cope absolutely fine.
Well, I think they called it trending. She'd been trending, hadn't she, the last few weeks. She played alongside Aditi Ashok. This is the winning moment. And she putted beautifully all week, hadn't she?
And she should kiss that putter. It's been very good to her this week.
And saying she'd been trending. She finished 3rd with Aditi Ashok in the pairs event a couple of weeks ago, then had a top 10 in a major. Now she's a winner.
Yeah, great putt. Just to sum up the week, really. It was a winning putt. 8 or 9 feet down the hill, right to left, and she'd hold 1 moment before also just displayed such calmness.
She did kiss the putter.
Not surprised.
It's been her best friend. And it's proved to provide the winning moment for her. What a brilliant day. I hope you've enjoyed that as much as we have. Pajari